Hey YouTube, it's me, BrandonColonel. I'm coming at you with another knife review. Today, it's on the Sheffield Rogue. Now this is a pretty substantial sized knife that most people will probably buy because, well, it looks kind of cool. It looks like it'll be able to stand up to quite a bit of abuse. It has a phenomenal sheath. It's got a sharpener, and it has a fire starter, all incorporated into the back end of the sheath. Now, very sturdy, very decent looking blade, and looks pretty scary. Looks like it's going to be full tang. That's where most people are wrong. This blade, although it looks very menacing, not sharp. I spent quite a bit of time sharpening this, and it loses its edge very quickly, and it's just all around not the type of knife that you're looking for. It is very unbalanced, and just overall not a good knife. Now, most people would think, oh, this is full tang, especially when they're just looking at the package, because you can't actually handle this. Because it comes in a clamshell packaging, so you can't really tell. And honestly, this looks like it's full tang. It's got some coming out of the back end. That's what most people would think. Most people would be wrong. Yeah, most people would definitely be wrong. Let's see if I can get this thing off of here. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Pliers. Because my hands are a little bit slippery right now, so I couldn't get it off. The bottom cap screws off. This comes off. This comes off. And what do we have there? Something that is not truly full tang. That is welded on there, and at most has maybe a little bit of glue around here just to make sure to keep it in. This is not full tang. And in fact, the way that I learned it was because I was using it on a big branch that fell from a tree at one point. Because I got this during Christmas, so branches were falling all over the place due to the fact that branches were dying because it was too cold for them to be on the tree anymore. And so I started hacking at the branch to see how well of a chopper this would be. Because just looking the way that it does, it looks like it's going to be a phenomenal chopper. And because it looks like it's going to be a phenomenal outdoors knife. Well, I started chopping with it, and I started noticing that the bottom was starting to come loose. It was starting to rattle a lot. So then I started fiddling around with this, found out this is screwed on. So I took it off, and I found that. Not a good surprise to find out when you're right in the middle of chopping something heavy, and now you're starting to think, oh crap, my knife is literally about to break, and I've just opened it yesterday. So, not exactly the best feeling in the world, but it is an easy fix. Just tighten it down, and it's good as new. Problem is, now I don't know what it's capable of, and I don't want to test it. Reason I don't want to test it is due to one simple fact. I don't want to die from a piece of sharpened steel coming at me in the face. So, there are people who have probably done more in-depth testing on this. Maybe they put on YouTube, maybe they haven't, I don't know. Haven't exactly checked it. I only found one guy with an actual review of it when I purchased this. So, there are probably people who have done destruction tests on these, found out their breaking points. If any of you have either found a destruction test or have even done one yourself, then I would love it if you guys would actually comment in the description box, put a link to the video that you did, if you did a video, and and just yeah, let me know what these things are actually capable of, because this seems like it would be capable of a lot, but in actuality, it doesn't seem like it would be that capable once you know what it's actually made of. Now, as far as steel, all that it tells you is stainless. With how weak of an edge this thing can handle, and just how short of a time it actually takes it, then I would give this 440A. It is not that great of a steel. It is an ABS handle and a fake full tang blade. It is a fully fine edge on the front with a very non-functional serration on the back. This is about as non-functional as it gets. I mean, I attempted to make this work, and there's just not enough here at all. There's not enough for you to really get a good sawing motion back and forth. I mean, you basically have to hold it like this anyways to get anything done, but even that, you can't get enough force on it. And then if you're doing this, for one, you're putting pressure on that fake tang, and very likely you could snap it off. But two, you just, although that gives you the force you're looking for, then you would prefer to be closer to it, so that way you don't have to work with all that moving around. And definitely you can't grab it like that, so that way you can get the force you need. So, overall, this is just very poorly designed, and I mean, this was about, I think, $20, maybe $25, and I've bought $25 knives that are so much better than this that this is basically a novelty item for me at this point. So this is just not what I'm looking for in a knife. Now, as far as the sheath is phenomenal. It is it is double stitching. It has these rivets every once in a while, and this part is actually folded over. So there's no chance the back coming out. Excuse me. And then it's just riveted on right here, along with the double stitching. It has a clip to keep the knife in place. And like I said, it has these two compartments back here that either you can take the item out, because it has the sharpener, which is pretty much non-functional. The only good use that I can figure for this is if you are actually in a survival situation, and then you find that you have nothing whatsoever to sharpen your knife with. This would be something. So it would work. But as far as actual use on the knife, it's pretty much useless. The only use that I found for it is sharpening these serrations down here, at least when I was making some form of an attempt to sharpen them. It's overall pretty useless. Now, the fire starter is actually very functional. Now, with this particular knife, it's, again, pretty much useless, because you have to use the edge of your knife, and it's just non-functional. After a while, you will dull your edge if you have to actually use this. And it also takes chunks out of the rod. Now, if you're doing it along the back, I have gotten sparks, but they're pretty much non-functional, and you wouldn't get to light anything off of it. So it's pretty much worthless for that. And I've even tried doing it in these grooves where I thought it might be sharper and just have a little bit better luck, but just no such luck. Yeah, I couldn't even get it to spark once. So, yeah, 440A steel at most, because it just says stainless. ABS handle, non-functional serrations. Tip ain't bad. You actually could use this to baton, and I did it a few times, but well, like I said, the handle started coming undone. So I wouldn't really recommend this for heavy use. You could probably use it for clearing away some brush and some lighter tasks like that. But as far as actual heavy use, say chopping down a tree, doing a lot of batoning work at once, or really even doing batoning incredibly heavy, I wouldn't really recommend this knife. For light use, for a novelty item, yeah, this is actually quite phenomenal. Is it for the price, not so much, but if you can find it for under $20, then this wouldn't be too bad. It wouldn't be too awful. But otherwise, this is actually a very good knife. If all that you're buying it for is a sheath, go ahead. The sheath is phenomenal. And as for another knife that I did, another knife review that I did in the past, this is the Frost Cutlery Combat Ranger. Fairly decent sized knife, and it fits perfectly in this sheath. There is actually a very high possibility that if I need to go out and do a camping task, I will carry my Combat Ranger in my Sheffield Rogue sheath. There is a very high possibility that I'm going to do that. So, good sheath, phenomenal sheath actually. Phenomenal sheath, terrible knife to go with it. I will definitely be changing out the sheath if I ever need to use the Combat Ranger in something that needs a little bit more than just the sheath that it comes with. Which, for those of you that haven't seen it, go and check out my review on the Combat Ranger. Excellent knife, excellent capabilities. Go check it out. So, yeah, terrible knife, good sheath. Buy it for the sheath only, unless you're going for a novelty that is under $20. Stay safe.